Hey, so this is my response to the Leadership 2 for Module 4. So I picked two people that I am familiar with that are in leadership, and then I only picked one for unfamiliar because I don't really feel like I know a lot of manager type leadership people or have come in contact with them. So anyway, the first one I picked was my mom. So my mom is a manager of a Walmart back in my hometown, and I have watched her gradually work to this position from a point of employment that she didn't even want. She's not been there. I think she's been there about 5 years, and she's already worked to a manager position. She has the respect of her employers beyond, or her employees and employers, honestly, the people above her, beyond measure, and even past that. She's a friend when needed. She accommodates to them as much as possible while putting her own needs on the back burner, which is not always easy, and I know a lot of times that frustrates her, and I know it probably frustrates other leadership management people. She nurtures her employees and trains them to go and do bigger and better things or even go higher in where they are. I find her work ethic to be very strong and successful. I know most of her days her job is not easy as she doesn't like it and sometimes she complains about it, but in the end she's good at it and everything in between that is required of her, even past just having those relationships with employees, like her actual job when it comes to organizing things around the store and making sure the job is done. She does that efficiently, and it's very well done. And she's had lots of evaluations done on her that have proven so. She has, but yeah, everything in between that drives the motivation to keep her coming back. But yeah, the second one I picked was my boss when I worked at a summer day camp. So I worked at a really small summer day camp at my church, which had about 40 to 50 kids max over summer, which is not a lot. But compared to the person that I don't like, I'm doing for unfamiliar leadership. But her name's Lisa. The job itself was very laid back and informal, which is totally different than what I was expecting it to be. For it being my first job, I thought it was going to be very uptight and very strict because there were so many, I was gonna be working with kids, but other than the few rules I was trained with, it really was not that difficult. She was kind and doesn't necessarily act as a boss. She doesn't come across as being the power type. She doesn't treat us any different as employees, and there's only 5 camp counselors between all of us, and then including her there's 6. But her business runs really smooth with people she started about 15-20 years ago. So she started with her best friend, but I think it was about 15 years ago, and they have grown it and moved it to a little bit bigger of a facility, but still they've never really gotten the chance to expand or change much, and I think she is and will be successful as she continues it. She has made relationships with families in the area that need childcare, and they trust her to provide exactly that and more. And so with that, she only hires people, or us, that she trusts and that she knows will do that for those kids, and that will be that will help those kids learn and be help them with safe. Anyways, but yeah, so I know a lot of the people were all from the same church, so we all knew each other. We all grew up together. There were a couple of elderly. We have 2 elderly camp counselors who act more as a mom figure than us in college could. She works hard and stays behind the scenes a lot in the office and does paperwork, but when she does come forward and goes on trips with us, she's very maternal and loving, and exactly what a management or a leadership business owner would need to be in this type of organization. So I think that's really good. I really liked working for her. She was great. And then my unfamiliar leadership comes from another day camp that I actually went to as a kid, which when I went to was really small, but now is huge in my county. His name's Greg. He's the manager or the coordinator of a summer day camp, which has over 150 kids, and the building itself is huge. It's planted in the church, and they grew so much that the church ended up like adding sections to it just for that camp. And there's at least 15 to 20 counselors, whereas like we had like 5. I think he's very successful, considering that each summer they have more kids than they did the last year. He is continually reaching our county and then other counties, like neighboring ones, and we have kids that are, their parents are driving like 30 minutes, or they have kids that are driving like 30 minutes just to come to the summer day camp, so they know that their kids are safe, and they know that they trust the employees and whatnot. But I don't know him personally, but I know he is very kind, and he is exactly the role model that the counselors need, as well as what the kids need. And I really like, what I've talked with him, I really like him, and I really like how he runs things. So, but yeah, that is my leadership video.